Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Capricorn for August 2015. Go to my website, aspiritualspark.com, where you will find more about my personal live coaching. Also, you'll see more about my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine, which is available on a sliding scale. And you will see my new webinars. The first one is Unleash Your Money Magnet. So, if you are having challenges with your finances, you definitely don't want to miss this webinar. And be on the lookout for my new growing list of webinars to assist you with the things that people most ask me for help with in personal sessions. That's what the basis of the webinars are. I hear over and over again, there are the same challenges that everyone is going through in the world. It seems like, as humans, we have these same problems. So while you're there, sign up for my free email newsletter and become part of my community. So August is a very interesting month. We've got our own, it has its own transits that are occurring that we're going to talk about, but we're also very much in the shadow of these eclipses. And the eclipses I'm going to go into depth in September because that's when they actually occur. But many people in August are going to start to have news from the eclipses. 4 to 6 weeks before the eclipse happens, news can come in. And so that brings us into the beginning of the month for the first eclipse, which is September 13th, and the end of the month, which is 6 weeks before the second eclipse, 4 to 6 weeks before there. So the whole month of August is really ripe with the possibilities of something coming out of the blue from the eclipse that is starting this storyline. We're still in the process of living through the storyline that was activated in April, and for many people, very violently so. Uranus was involved with those eclipses in the spring, and so the stories that are following along from that jolt of news is very challenging. So we'll talk about those specifics, like I said, in September, but just to know that August is a month where we're very much covered in the things that are to come as well. So something else going on in August is that Venus is in retrograde the entire month. Venus went into retrograde at the end of July. It's going to go direct in the beginning of September 6th or 7th. But the whole month of July and the rest of the month of September is pretty much covered in Venus retrograde. So you really need to know what's going on with that. And I'll mention a couple of things here, but I thought that it was worthy of having its own video. I did a whole separate video, which I very much urge you to look on my YouTube channel for, search for Venus retrograde. And I'll go into great depth about this, many different facets of Venus ruling love and beauty and money and what that looks like in retrograde and what it's good to do and what it's not good to do and certain things to avoid like the plague. So you definitely want to look into that because we have enough other things to talk about without that. So what is going on for Capricorns? We've got this huge cluster of planets in your 8th house. Well, most of you have them in your 8th house. Your early degree placements definitely do. Many of you middle degree placements do. Some of you middle to later degree placements have some of these still in the 7th house, and you later degree placements have this party in the 7th house. Now, since these are both partnership houses, there's going to be some similarity between the experiences of them being in the 7th house and of being in the 8th house. So even if they're not there for you yet in the 8th house, there's going to be a lot of stories that are either going to come because once they leave the 7th house for your later degree placements, they're going to be there, or just for the fact that this partnership sector is being majorly focused on for Capricorn for this month. There's a continued focus here. We've had a long-term focus with Jupiter moving through there. So that has already brought this theme of relationships, of cooperation, of one-on-one relationships, marriage. People are getting engaged, people are getting married, people are meeting the love of their lives, people are moving forward, people are starting businesses, they're adding to their client populations like crazy with these transits. Capricorns are really, really, really in this partnership focus, and that is more strengthened this month. And because Venus is in retrograde, either in your 8th or 7th house, you have added focus on your relationships, reevaluation, reassessment. I highly recommend, and this is not just true for this month, but for always, that if you are a late degree Capricorn, consider also watching the horoscope for Aquarius. And anything I say about early degree Aquarius, that's going to be your horoscope, pretty much. Your late degree placements, especially very late degree placements, your horoscope profile is going to look so much more like the early Virgo than it is for many of the Capricorn things. So if you find that some things are off for you and you're not quite jiving, or things eventually come but it takes a really long time and you're like, wait, they were talking about that a while ago, that's, that's why. So just consider doing that and you'll start to see that those might be a little bit more true for you. But in any case, we've got Venus retrograde, we've got Jupiter, we've got Mercury, we've got the Sun in this 8th house. And the 8th house, the second house of partnership, rules partnership with resources. So the 7th house is like the actual partnerships, the marriage, the business relationship, the business with the relationship with the client, that's 7th house. The 8th house is you and those people you're in relationship with and your stuff, or you in relationship with an entity. This is taxes, this is the government, this is financial aid of any sort, this is loans, credit, debt, this is your in-laws, this is your family of origin, their money, resources. This is all about resources, very much related to money, and money and resources being, a lot of those are money. So there's so much focus here. If you are a person who has been wanting to get a loan, who has been wanting to eradicate your debt, who has been wanting to deal with something involving taxes, Jupiter is there to help you. Some of you later degree placements, you haven't really had the benefit of this yet. It's coming still. But you will be surprised at how many people out of the blue will want to help you with this transit. Your in-laws show up and buy you these amazing things. Your parents help you to buy a house or get a loan, or, really work this 8th house when Jupiter's there. Because, and I don't mean work, I mean in a positive way, like if you know that you have access to these resources more than ever, then don't be afraid to ask for things, because some of the things might have to come with you asking first. So many people walk around and they don't want to ask for help, they don't want to get help from anybody, and that's appropriate sometimes. It's not appropriate when you have Jupiter moving through your 8th house, because all of this bundle, this just beautiful, glorious, massive stash of resources is available to you if you just ask for it. And this is also, I call the 8th house one of the houses of the whatnots, the whatever they are, is that people don't really see as well, they're angels, they're fairies, they're guides, they're things that are lesser seen. The 8th house is the place of lesser seen things. And so universal support is so rampant at this time. And this is just totally supercharged. Now, on August 11th, Jupiter is going to technically move into Virgo. So it's moving into the sign that rules Capricorn's 9th solar house, which means energetically in some ways it's leaving the 8th house. But that's not true technically for most of you. It's going to be a while, even for you early degree placements, before Jupiter's energy really goes full throttle into the 9th house. And for you middle to late degree cap placements, you're not going to have Jupiter get into your 9th house for a while. What does Jupiter look like in the 9th house? Jupiter is so happy there. Jupiter is pretty happy anywhere, but Jupiter rules the 9th house. It rules Sagittarius, which rules the 9th house. And so this is publishing, speaking, teaching, inspiring people, religious related things. This is different countries, different cultures, international affairs. This is the energy of floating around on a cloud and looking at a big picture of things, being able to see the bigger picture of things. Anything involving teaching and learning and interacting with people and helping them. It's a very idealistic house, trying to be true to ideals. Those things are so accentuated when Jupiter goes into the 9th house. So if you are a writer, if you are a person who wants to do speaking and teaching, if you are a person who wants to do broadcasting, write books, if you're a teacher and you want to get extended or more degrees or more recognition within your work, this rules formal teaching and informal teaching, so accredited teaching and not accredited teaching. This is one of the best times in 12 years, for 12 years, when Jupiter gets there. It's not quite there yet. Like I said, officially it goes in the sign, but it's going to get stronger over time. So if you have any of those things that you're interested in, especially if you feel it brewing, and you will feel it brewing as it becomes relevant for you, different opportunities will come up, you'll be thinking more about things, and so this is going to help you tremendously. for any of those types of ventures. Now, even though it officially goes in August, Venus is in retrograde, not the best time to make decisions about love, beauty, money, finances, business. It's rules going backwards. Definitely listen to that Venus retrograde video because I go into a lot of detail about what not to do and why we say not to do it. But in any case, we have this cluster in the 8th house. So besides all those things that I already listed, you're also going to have on August 14th, the new moon in Leo. This is the first new moon that we've had in a while that isn't encumbered by terrible transits that put a damper on its brilliance. So this new moon in Leo, this fiery, awesome Leo, this is also happening for most of you in your 8th house. The rest of you later placements will have this in your 7th house. Something new opening in relationships, something new opening, a new chapter. If you meet someone when Venus is in retrograde, I talk about this in the other video at length, and you've never met them before, and you're like, this is the love of my life, I'm selling everything to be with this person. Don't do it, because you're not seeing clearly. You're not seeing clearly, and you have to not make big decisions. Even if you're like, oh my gosh, this is the person I just know with all of everything I have, I'm so sure. Don't do it. Be level-headed. You have more of a chance of having something happen romantically or with business, because even though Venus rules those things, Venus also rules love and money, and you have this 8th house with being the deep house of intimacy and of money and resources. So you have extra lines of energy here that bring it more likely to have active involvement with this transit coming to you on the topics of love and money. So it's a perfect time to assess, not a good time to decide. Perfect time to assess, not a good time to decide. I want like to put a little Annie on your shoulder that is saying, as these things are happening, it's a good time to assess. It's a good time to consider. It's a good time to reevaluate, not a good time to decide. Just remember that rule, and things will be much easier for you. So then we also have a full moon on August 29th, and that is going to happen in your 2nd house of finances and material possessions. So some kind of fullness, some kind of fruition, some kind of completion coming. This is happening in the sign that rules your 3rd house, but it's going to happen in most of the 2nd house for most of you. Just, I wish that things were easier for you to just say, wow, that's my solar 3rd house. Like if you know astrology enough to know that Pisces rules your solar 3rd house, I love that. I'm so excited that you know that. But also know it's at an early degree. It's at 4 degrees. And so that means it's not going to be exactly placed in that house for many of you, and actually really for all of you. It's easier to understand this if you see the chart, where it lines up, but you can take my word for it that there might be some energy of fullness in 3rd house things. So cars and driving and, things like that, because for some of you, it's going to be close enough to the line that it could manifest in either place. And the spirit of it is there. The spirit of it is in your 3rd house. But most of you are going to have something dramatic, something coming to fruition, something coming to completion involving money. Full moons often bring up fears, and they're either real or they're imagined. So I just always say leave some time around that full moon, the few days before, a little bit after, so that as things come up, you can more easily deal with them. Let's see what else I wanted to focus on. Those were the main points for this month, with the exception of the eclipses, just kind of preparing yourself. The best way that we can really prepare ourselves for anything is to apply Zen to your life as much as possible. But just understanding the impermanence of things and working to dissolve attachments to the permanence of things really assists when things that you thought were permanent become not permanent. Then you can still go on with your life and be present with the things that are still present. That's why I always talk about inner work. And it's so important at these times when eclipses start bringing in news. You might still be recovering from the storyline that happened from the last eclipses, and then the other ones start to come in, So practice your inner work. Do what you can to tend to your inner space. We weren't taught, I don't know about you, I was not taught as a child, you have to clear your energy field just the same way you clear your bladder after you drink water. You have to pee, and you eat food, and you have to poop. You clean out all these systems. Nobody ever said Annie, you're super sensitive, and all humans are sentient beings anyway, and so go put your hands and feet out in the earth and drain your energy field of all the drama that you're sticky to. Nobody said that to me. I had to figure that out. And so if you're hearing this for the first time, play with this. You know, you can feel it. If you pay attention, you can feel in your field that it's sticky and there's all kinds of stuff in there, and some of it's your stuff and some of it's not your stuff. So, you know, do what you can to keep that field clear. Drain your energy. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do, is to go out into the earth and put my bare feet and hands in the earth, because it's free, it's quick, and it does the job. You'll feel a huge difference. So this is one of the best ways to prepare for challenges that come with the current transits, ones that are upcoming. If you need some assistance with this, go to my website, aspiritualspark.com, and I am forever adding to my offerings. I have my personal live coaching sessions. I have my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine, which is available on a sliding scale. I have my new webinars. If money is your challenge, then definitely sign up for my Unleash Your Money Magnet webinar. And while you're there, sign up for my free email newsletter, where you get other tidbits, and as well as a written version of many of the astrological transits that are upcoming. And I hope you have a wonderful August. Bye.